we just wanted to start this one off by celebrating New Year's Eve because that's what it happens to be.
It is New Year's Eve.
If you are joining us today, we hope you're
celebrating
today.
And we hope you celebrated by watching Outlander.
Woo, because we certainly did.
Also, we did not live stream last week because it was the holidays and we were busy.
A little bit.
We were busy bees. Speaking of bees, the birds and the bees were this last episode called.
You can see we've been having a lot of sugar this holiday season.
We're celebrating early.
But anyway, I guess we should dive right in. So we did not talk about last episode 8, which was actually a very intense. So I guess we can just comment on what happened at the end, since that is a big factor in what happens in this one. Brianna first gets into a big fight with Roger after they have some sexy time.
Not really a sexy time, though.
Well, it was at first. He came back in time to find her, and she's like,
it's very important to realize that they did not go all the way.
Yes. We didn't really know that at the time, but apparently
now we do.
Now we do. So yeah, they have like somewhat sexy time, and then and then they get in a big fight because she basically finds out that he knew about her parents dying before she did.
And he didn't tell her.
Although, to be honest, like he was planning to. He like called her. That was the reason he called her.
That is true. He tried.
I wish he had said that in this fight. Like, well, actually, I was about to call you and tell you, and then I found out you were gone.
I think they just needed to relax and have a conversation here.
Thanks, Galen. Anyway, so then like they have their big fight and she's super upset and she goes to the nearby bar. And
that's what you do after fights.
Yeah. And upset. She runs into none other than Stephen Bonnet.
The bad guy.
Yeah, the main villain that we met several.
The man who killed a man.
Yes, and
stole the ring.
Stole Claire's wedding ring. And so she sees him basically playing with Claire's wedding ring, and she's like, where'd you get that?
That's my mom's. And he's like, hey, I don't care. And she's like, hey, I'll buy that from you. And he's like, hey, you're going to pay me in other ways.
Yeah, and that's where it gets kind of gross. So he takes her into this nearby room and basically has his way with her. And we don't actually see what happens. We just hear her screaming.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. And we basically see all of his friends sitting around the table doing nothing. Just
because they're all afraid of him and they are bad people.
Yeah, basically, like that's how it was back then, and kind of still is in a lot of ways. And that's what what the Me Too movement's all about, is getting past that. But so yeah, Brianna does not have a good time. He does afterwards though, like give her the ring. He says like, I always pay for my pleasures, which is
that's disgusting. So yeah, she gets the ring back, but at what cost? And then we open this next episode pretty much right where we left off.
Yeah.
And she's in pain because he did hurt her physically.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And
so she goes back to the her room and where her lady's maid is.
Maiden, yeah.
And it's her lady's maid, Lizzie.
Handmaid. And Lizzie's like, hey, Lizzie or Izzy?
I think it's Lizzie, because I think her name's Elizabeth.
Okay. Yeah, Lizzie can tell that something happened. She's trying to be there for her. And Brianna is like, no, go to sleep. She doesn't want to talk about it. She's trying to pretend like it didn't happen.
She's a bit traumatized.
Teletubby. Hi!
How you doing?
You're the favorite Teletubby. So yeah, it was very sad, and she kind of reacted how many rape victims react.
Yeah, and the thing we actually saw the previous episode too was this lady's maid Lizzie actually saw Roger with Brianna through a window, and it looked to her like Roger was mistreating her.
She thought that Roger was Stephen Bonnet.
Exactly, she thought that Roger was the one that raped her. And so that's
Roger's trying to find her like the next day, and she's not up yet. She's sleeping it off. And he basically wants to stay there. And Stephen Bonnet's like, no, you signed up to be on the crew and you have to stay with us. We said this was one of many stops. So you have to go with us or we're going to cut off one of your limbs. Alas, for a limb, think about it.
Yeah. And so he's like, we're going to Philadelphia. That's your last stop.
And so Roger's like, I guess I got to go.
Yeah. So he leaves. And then, maybe like an hour or two later, Brianna gets up, goes and asks about him. And they're like, oh, he already left on that ship.
So she thinks he left because of their fight.
Exactly. Yeah. She thinks he went back to Scotland.
So Brianna's trying to go see her Aunt Jocasta. She's telling Lizzie that she wants to leave right now. And she doesn't have time because she doesn't know if like the fire's going to happen 10 months from now or 10 years from now. So she has to go. Yeah. And
then her lady's named Lizzie comes up to her actually while she's looking for Roger outside.
Good news.
And she's like, guess what? You know, I ran into the Scotsman. And at first Brianna's like, okay, whatever. And she's like, no. But his name is Fraser and his wife is a healer. And Brianna's like, wait a minute. That sounds like my
Lizzie,
parents.
just tell her what you want to say. You're taking too long.
Yeah.
And Jamie's taking a piss. And that is the moment that Brianna finds him. And he's like, can I help you? And she's like, yes. And he's like, I'm a married man, woman. Yeah. And she's like, ew.
Yeah.
I am your daughter. I am a Fraser. You're Jamie Fraser. Yeah. And he's like, oh my God. And
it was a really sweet moment.
It was very sweet. She starts crying and he's like, your mother hasn't seen me yet. We've got to go back to your mother because.
Can we not do that?
It's New Year's Eve. Anyways.
Yes. So yes, they go find Claire. And Claire is like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And
Claire's like,
Brianna and
yes. You can hear sorry. And she's like, yeah, hi, Mom. And they go back to Fraser's Ridge. And on the way, Lizzie likes Ian. Can I just
She's like hanging out with him on the boat, the raft, and they're sitting there with the dog in between them. And I already forgot his name.
She was like, how handsome.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yes, he is. And she's like, yeah. And
she's just stared at Ian this whole time.
Over his head. But there's going to be some love affairs going on with them. Mark my words. They're going to get together and have babies. Words. They're going to have babies.
Oh, yeah. Like, Ian's a little oblivious.
Speaking of babies, Brianna is preggers.
Yeah.
And that was a shocker.
Because we did not see the signs. Apparently, what we found out from the behind the scenes afterwards, that the sign, the sign was that she was standing outside looking at birds. She was just watching some birds, like a mom feeding her baby birds. I thought it was just her kind of zoning out because she's been traumatized.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But apparently, the behind the scenes producer said that was supposed to be a clue that she's pregnant.
So we find that out basically when Claire takes her out to pick some herbs with her. They're sitting having some mother-daughter time.
Yeah, Claire's like, I can tell something's wrong. And she's like, oh, I forgot you can read my mind. Yes, I'm pregnant. And she was like, what? How far along are you? Actually, no, Claire guessed it.
She just guessed it. She's like, how far along are you? And that's the moment where I was like, whoa,
yeah, she's pregnant. A mother always knows.
I thought she was just guessing that she was like raped, that something happened to her, but she knew right away she was pregnant. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then basically Brianna opens up and says, Claire's like, okay, that's good, Roger. And Brianna basically says like, no, it's not Roger.
It might not be Roger's. And like almost certainly, no, it's not Roger.
Yeah.
Roger didn't go all the way.
Apparently that's what she admits there.
Roger.
Yeah. So it basically was.
It's Steven's baby, which is horrible news.
Yeah.
And
especially considering we know that he throws kids out of
windows,
out of windows into the ocean. He's probably not going to even treat his own kid very well if he found out.
That's really, really bad news.
So,
and Claire doesn't know who the father is. And then she goes on and later she finds the ring. Yeah. And she's like, where did you get this? And Claire probably already knows that it's Steven's. Yeah. And she literally says, is this Stephen Bonnet's? And she's like, why didn't you tell me? And
Brianna's like, well, I don't want Dad to know, like Jamie, because he's gonna freak out and go try to attack him, and that's just gonna cause a whole thing. So she's like, don't tell Jamie.
And so she doesn't tell Jamie, but she tells him that Brianna has been raped and that she's pregnant.
Right.
And then her handmaid is chilling with like Ian and stuff. And then Roger comes out of nowhere on a horse. And she sees him and she runs away and she goes and tells Jamie like, oh my God, the man who raped your daughter is here. And
she thinks it's Roger.
And Jamie goes after Roger and beats the crap out of him. Yeah. Happy New Year's Eve, Roger.
Yeah, right?
And poor Roger.
Roger's just standing there like, oh, hey, how you doing? And maybe just boom.
Like, I thought he was going to kill him. He knocked that shit out of him.
And he basically tells Ian, get rid of him. And Ian's like, do you want me to kill him? And Jamie's like, no. I don't want you to be a murderer.
Just get rid of him.
Just get rid of him. So we don't really know what that means yet.
It's really bad news, though. And then on the next time on, we see that he's captured by Native Americans. And that's not good news. And he's trying to escape. And maybe he does escape, it looks like. And
then Claire talks to Brianna, I guess, about whether she wants to have an abortion.
Yeah, whether she wants to have an abortion. because it's still early enough along, I guess. And Claire also is kind of like, Jamie, what have you done?
Yeah.
Because that was Roger.
Yeah, that was Jamie of all people had to be the one to be told about him.
To mess things up.
Because if Claire had shown up, she knows Roger. She would have been like, "Oh no, you're good. Okay, it's just you."
I know it's kind of Lizzie's fault for assuming, but I mean, we can't really blame her because that's what she really believed happened.
Yeah, she was trying to, help her friend. She was trying to. It was just so many things going wrong.
Always
shouldn't be going wrong.
I mean, it wouldn't be an Outlander episode if it wasn't.
That's
It'll
true.
all work out in the end. We know it will.
Yeah.
What do we think she's going to do with the baby?
I don't know.
I think she will keep it.
I have a
The
feeling
stakes will be raised, and it'll be more drama, and it'll move the plot forward.
Yeah, because it's going to be, I have a feeling that even before, I have a feeling like what might happen is she might decide she wants to get rid of it, and then Stephen Bonnet's going to find out somehow, and he's going to show up and like kidnap her or do something.
Oh my God, this woman needs to go back to her own time period. You told them about the fire. They know they're going to go out every Sunday for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they're fine. Like, go back home.
I mean, they should just come to the freaking future with her. Like, come on, guys. Just give up on this Fraser's Ridge.
Well, Jamie can't.
Can he, though? We don't know that yet.
He's tried before.
I don't think he did. Because remember we saw in the very beginning of the very beginning, like the very first season, we see what looks like him standing there watching
No, but
Claire.
he's tried to go through the stones, and he couldn't get through.
When did he do that?
One of the seasons, like season 2 or something.
I'm pretty sure he did not do that.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Then how would he have ended up in the future later?
That might not be him.
Oh, okay. So some other random Scotsman
staring
at Claire. Oh,
or it is him, and he can go through later. But I don't know. At one point in time, he tried, and he couldn't go through.
I don't think that happened.
It did. It did.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna keep debating about that.
Yeah, we are.
Tell us if that.
Let us know in the comments below. Clear this little dispute up.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. Please like this video if you like Outlander, and if you're excited for New Year's Eve. And make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we go live and whenever we put out a new video. Yeah, and also let us know if there are any other shows coming out soon that you would like us to watch and do reviews for. We're going to do Game of Thrones for sure. Oh, yeah. But if there are any other shows that you want us to perhaps look at and live stream about, we are open to that because Outlander is running few. We're getting to the end here. Yep, we're getting towards the end. And also, the last thing is make sure you check out our Patreon page. Patreon! You can be in a reaction video with us or tell us which trailer you want us to react to. Exactly. Check that out. It's awesome. Yes, our link is below in the description. So, yeah, that is about all we have for today. Bye. So we'll see you all in 2019. Oh, yeah. We'll see you next year. Bye. That was Julia.